morning, my friends at the Service Alliance Group. How are you all doing today?
Good one, Sheena. Good intel.
Well, EJ, you look different down there. What happened?
Hey, hey, you know how it is. Y'all look, I'm with the ladies. I'm trying to keep it PG. The first thing that came to my mind was what? When you go black, you never go back. That's what happened.
You're hilarious. I love it.
My gosh. Jenny, how's it going today?
It's going okay. Like we've had a little bit of a crazy morning. This morning we were supposed to have our monthly meeting, but it's my fault that we didn't get to have it because I was late to work today. But it's for a good reason. I've been trying really hard to prioritize exercising and my prayer time in the morning, and I made it a non-negotiable thing recently. So in the past, I would be like trying to do those things, but if something else felt crazy, then I was like rushing out the door, praying in my car. So I just said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And I was 15 minutes late this morning. And then I had to be on here. And then at 9 o'clock, we are having an all-day peer group meeting, which Joe will be attending. And I will pop in for an hour at lunch break. So that is with our UASA peer group. So we just have a really busy day today, but all good things, working on our business. So
very cool.
Exciting.
How about you, Miss Ward?
Y'all know I'm out here trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, the usual. I'm over in Valdosta, Georgia, getting ready to knock out some clients. So I'm really looking forward to having an extremely productive day, exciting weekend, all the good stuff. Just ordering my steps one step at a time.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to just keep on rolling with it. Do either of you have a scripture for today? We didn't ask that ahead of time.
I actually was looking one up during the roll because when we were trying to think of a topic, we usually have, Freestyle Friday, but we like to have something as a backup just in case. And so the thing that I had was talking about a value ladder and how it can apply to our brick and mortar or face-to-face businesses, because it's usually an online type of thing. And so what that's about is serving your customers and taking them through their whole customer experience with you. So I am in Leviticus, I think it's 24, verse 14. Also, if you should make a sale of land to your neighbor or buy it from him, let a man not oppress his neighbor. So to me, that is about being fair in what you're offering. And so if you're taking somebody's money, making sure that you're giving them the value that they deserve. So it is not biblical to take money from somebody and then not give them what they deserve and be honest in what you're giving them. So that was my scripture that I took away. Does anybody else have a different one?
I did not pull a scripture up today. So, sometimes I do during the roll, but I did not today. Mrs. Ward, do you want to go ahead and say a prayer for us?
Sure, absolutely. Lord, thank you for bringing the ladies together today to show the world how it's done. Thank you for anointing us in our thoughts, our spirits, our minds, and our tongues. That everything that we share on our podcast today touches everyone's hearts, their spirits, and their souls. Thank you for giving us the vehicle of the Service Alliance Group to influence others and to help and to further our relationship with you. Lord, cover every technician, every business owner, every family, every extension of what we do and what they do with your grace and mercy. Order their steps and clear their minds so every decision they make is not just for the day, but for future generations. Amen.
Amen.
That was great. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, it is Freestyle Friday, which means if you have a question, today's a little bit different because you got the girls today. Ask away. We got a little bit different background. We got Mrs. Ward, who's out in the field. I've been in the office for 20 years plus because being a third generation owner, I was 14 years old answering the phone. So I'll just say 20 years plus. And then you got Jenny, who owns a business, who has a full-time job, but still does so much inside of their appliance business. So we got a full plethora of what we do here. So ask away. I know EJ's in the background, and he's the one that's popping up questions and popping up everything up there. And he was popping up hellos while we were going through. So, and we didn't say hi. So there was Dan and Orkun, and we got Jeremy on there, and Joe and Asoper and Joe twice. So good morning to all of you out there that are watching. We are so grateful to have you on. We got one at the end. It says, value is my favorite, and I try to never refer to my coat.
Cost.
Oh, cost. Cost. Like, what does coat have to do with it?
Do not refer to your coat. Whatever
Please
you
don't.
do. Yes.
Please don't. So I know, Jenny, you do have a topic and you started on it. Why don't you go ahead and expound and tell us what all you've been covering with it?
So I think it'll be backwards. No, it's actually not backwards.
It's good.
Excellent. So this is a little picture of a value ladder. And this I just taught in a workshop that I do every month with female business owners in my town. And you can find a lot of information about the concept of a value ladder online. Russell Brunson, if you've ever heard of him, he has a business called it's funnel hacking. He has a whole concept about the customer funnel, and he does a lot with online businesses. But it's a little different when we're out in the community and meeting people face to face, stuff like that. So I have adapted this concept to businesses like ours so that you can start building your customer relationships. So the first step, and there's 5 steps here of the value ladder. The first step doesn't involve any selling at all. It's what you're doing to get your name out there in the community. So a lot of people go straight to paid ads for that. But what we were trying to do in this group that I did on Tuesday night is kind of brainstorm some other ways that we can get our name out there and show people what we're about and what kind of people we are. Because ultimately, you don't meet somebody and say, hey, I'm Ginny and I own a business and I want you to give me $1,000. You know, like you meet people, you introduce yourself, you build a relationship, and then potentially you can extend your offer to them because it's the right thing to do. So some of the ways that we do it in our business is social media posts, putting a blog out that's just free information every single month. We have been to the local vocational school, and Joe has met with the students there and given a presentation. We have gone out to the community to do something called Trick or Treat in the Street, where we buy about $300 worth of candy and give it out to 2,000 kids. And then we put our business card there and we staple it to some of the detergent samples, and we give those to all the parents. And then we do something similar during 4th of July in a parade. We give out the detergent samples with our business card stapled to it. So all of those things are not involving taking any money from the customer. You're just showing them that you care about the community, you're out in the community and stuff like that. So I'm interested if anybody wants to comment in the chat, any other ideas that they have for our business in appliance world of how they're getting out in the community and showing up for people. The second one.
Well, let's go. I was gonna say, let's go ahead and stop on that one for a little bit. Mrs. Ward,
Sure.
what are some ways that you have been able to get your name out?
Well, as far as in my community, when I initially started in the business, because I'm always a person that thinks outside the box, I believe in relationships across the trades.
Yeah.
With electricians, plumbers. How many times as an appliance person do you go in and, you can fix one thing. You a miracle worker over here on the refrigerator. Well, can you take care of my sink? Can you do this? Can you do that? Those relationships come in handy. So initially, what I did was develop relationships like that because I understand that in appliance repair, we are significant in the home service industry. So in order for me to be a one-stop shop, I developed relationships with other subcontractors and other trades, and we would exchange clients and clientele. And because I specialized in high-end or in high-end areas, we were all understand what our clients expected and showed up accordingly, and were able to support each other. Because one thing in appliance repair, all the good techs know each other. Do we not? And
Yeah.
so we know who we're going to recommend because we understand if I recommend someone, this is a reflection of me. So of course that built my relationship with those customers, and across the industry. The other thing I did is I spent a lot of time down at the trade school in Miami with Richard Zilka. And when I say that, I went in to support my own training because they have a night appliance repair course, a nighttime phenomenal course that Richard teaches. And at the same time, I was exposed to a lot of students, people from different walks of life. And because of, you know, being long in the tooth, a lot of people for some reason listen to me, think I'm wise and all this other good stuff. You feel me? But it's not that. It's from me, falling on my butt on a regular basis. So this wisdom was earned. So I never have a problem with sharing it with other people. And that's one thing I think I don't want to really go off on a tangent because y'all know when I get on the soapbox, it's on and popping. But one thing I think we all, as older people, like you look at the years that Shauna has, the experience that Jenny has, as individuals, we have discernment. So you're always going to see that diamond in the rough, and particularly with women, we are nurturers by birth, and we want to cuddle them up and be like, I see in you what you don't see. And you got to be able to give back and plant a seed, even if it's just a positive word or a quick a kick in the ass, because I love you. You feel me? Because I'm going to shake you. And I would see that in those classes. I see it when I go pick up parts at Marcone. I see the struggling technicians. I see the people who were technicians and come in the industry and they're flustered with the business side. And when they don't understand, if you can fix an LG, this is a cakewalk. It's just the same focus it took you to excel over here. You can do it over there. So that's how I've been able, and that's why people, I make, like I did a video this morning about thinking out the box, because I think differently, and it took me years to appreciate that about myself, that I don't have to look and act like everybody else, because I have something to contribute, and it's not me. I'm simply the vessel. And so I have to move out of my own way and allow God to use me. And that's basically what I've done.
Something that you said in there was that you don't have to look and act like everyone else. And I think that's such an interesting point, because people, if you think that you're not unique, then you worry about competition.
Yeah.
And you worry about beating the other guy. And you don't have to. Even in our industry, we all fix appliances, but you can serve different people different ways, and people will align with your personality and somebody else might not. And then somebody else can serve that person. So I am a firm believer that we don't need to compete. We can lift each other up and help. And we have, another appliance service business in our area. We love them. We share customers back and forth. If it's something that we work on and they don't work on, they throw it our way. If it's out of our service area and towards them, we throw it their way. So your uniqueness means that you don't have to compete with other people, because there's something special about you that special customer is looking for.
Yep.
So I love that.
Yep. Soper, as consumers and appliance industry pros, have you parallels in a web page design to add value, QA and photos, business structure, etc.? How important is an appliance website? I think a website for any company is very much so needed. Anything from, even if all you can do at this time is a smaller website, or if you have a huge elaborate website, people want to see that they are not calling a company that doesn't know what they're doing. And although a website, you cannot know what you're doing and have a website, but it really does
in your
put
face.
you.
You want to know who you're doing business with. So my advice that I always tell people on their social media pages for our industry is stop putting pictures of appliances on there. Nobody cares to see the inside of a washing machine, because they're not an appliance technician.
Or stock photos.
Yeah, they're looking to see who they're doing business with. So you can put a picture of an appliance if you're giving a tip out to somebody about something, but they want to see your face, and they want to see your team and who's going to show up in their house and what you're doing in the community and things like that. Like they want to get to know you. So if you open your social media feed or your website and there's not a picture of you on there or your team or what you stand for in your company, then you better add it fast. So I think it's super important. I think it's Andrew, right? Is A Soper? Is that Andrew?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, let us know if that's right. I think it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's imperative. And that nowadays people, I know I pass over businesses if they don't have a web presence because I feel like they don't have their act together and they're not really like a solid business. I want to see that if I'm doing business with somebody.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Ward?
Yeah, and I think you have to understand who your avatar is. This is a touchy subject, and I'm not going to take us left, but this is this is a touchy subject, but you ladies can handle it. Now, it's apparent that you ladies are European American, and I'm not. So I'm going to be very honest. And one thing, I'm going to be honest with y'all now. Okay. I have some clients that I have coached that were starting off their businesses. Okay. They were on Thumbtack. They weren't getting business, and their picture was there and they looked like me. When they took their picture off, what happened? Let's keep it a buck now. We have different experiences. So on my website, now I'm not saying your picture shouldn't be there, but I think like if I'm in Atlanta, I'm in hot Atlanta and it's round and brown like me. Oh yeah. We talking Atlanta, but I have a certain clientele that's not going to have an issue.
Yeah,
at this point, I service Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and now South Carolina. And I have rolled into places, and we're going to put it out here because y'all know it's going to, hey, and EJ will tell you, I've sent him pictures where I pulled into the driveway. I'm eager to go. And when I pull in, it's a little off the street. You follow me? I pull in and I get up in the driveway and there's a big heritage flag, 20 by 40. You follow me? So I have to make a decision.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, as a woman of color, I don't have a problem. I love America. We have belief systems and I support all that. But I also back my round brown ass up out of that driveway. It was on a Sunday. And like I told EJ, I was not invited to the barbecue. You hear me? So it's okay though. But I don't take it personally. See, this is what I don't this is why we have to celebrate our differences. Our country is our country. I don't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah.
You follow me? But I also respect people's belief systems. And if there could be a conflict, my emotional intelligence is at a point. I don't take it personal. I understand how people were raised. And I understand a lot of places I go in, I'm the first female.
That's not your customer anyway. You don't want to deal with people that are not kind.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to deal with people that aren't kind either.
Yeah. So, and the lady was sweet as she could be, Southern Belle on the phone. You feel me? And a lot of people, they don't see nothing wrong with it because it's just their culture. So, and I don't have an issue with nothing because I am successful because I can cross any line and walk in any room as I am because my intelligence, my work ethic, and how well-read and well-rounded I am, I can get along with anybody because I can
push back a little. So you're cautioning people sometimes about putting themselves out on their website because people might judge them and choose not to work with them. And I was going to say, I think if somebody's choosing not to work with you because of how you look, then that's not your customer. And you know what I mean? Like I would want to put your proud, beautiful, smiling, talented face all over your website and people will choose to work with you because of your skills and shame on them if they're not. But I think it is easy to say that as a white woman. So I get your point.
Yeah. And you got to realize, I mean, just like when TK sat down with the gentleman and had a conversation about the round and brown texts that would get stopped, how they didn't work after certain times of night because they would be stopped. He doesn't know that experience, but this is the reason of having allies and conversations and not tiptoeing around real life. Right. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I feel you should be clean cut in anything. Like you look at the gentleman over at Compass, Reggie. You feel me? Reggie met, and then look at Lamar. I mean, phenomenal men that just fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you can't prejudge them. He can win over the Grand Wizard. Lamar could. But the reality is, You have to understand we're in a country and you got to step up and be, because for me, the reason why I know what I do, I am so good at everything I do, and I push myself to a certain elite level of excellence is because I grew up being prejudged, pre this and that. And I have been successful in corporate, inside corporate America and outside because people underestimate me. They don't see me coming. And it has been my secret sauce the whole while.
Okay, so to wrap all of that up, we all think it is important to put a website, right? That was the original question. and
Yes.
So could we move to the level 2 of the value ladder where we're trying to get something from our customer?
Are we all here?
All here? Your voice is there. There, now you're moving again.
Uh-oh.
You were a little frozen.
Otherwise, we won't get through.
I don't know if y'all can hear me.
We can hear you.
Got a little too hot up in here. Hey, ladies, can you hear me? Hey, look here. Hey, I had to look around. I thought the ancestors showed up. I'm like, shake it off them shackles.
So looking at the next step of the value ladder, this one is, sometimes people are skipping over this one, but it's really important too. So in the first step, we're getting our face and our name out there and what we stand for and just letting our community know that we exist. The second step of the value ladder, we're starting to give some value to the community, but get something in return. And it's not necessarily money. So we're trying to build an email list that we can reach out to. Social media, Google, super important. However, having your email list, nobody can take that away from you. They can't shut your email list down or put you in Facebook jail or something like that. So that's just an important step. And you can do that by sharing information at community events and collecting business cards or letting people sign up on a list for a drawing or something like that. So in addition to adding your current customers to your email list. The level 3, so this is the middle of the ladder, that is your regular offers that you're doing for your customers. So that is your service calls, your bread and butter, whatever you're selling, that is level 3. So there's not a whole lot to expand on for level 2 and level 3, but just know that that's not where your experience for your customer stops. Your level 4 and level 5 are going to be your high level sales or your recurring revenue or memberships. So there's a lot of different kinds of businesses other than appliance repair that might be listening to this, including people like Shayna or parts suppliers. So you could have a membership in place where somebody's getting something valuable and they're paying monthly or they pay for the whole year. This is where you can add your service contracts that are your lower end service contracts. And then your level 5 is your very highest level. And that might be a very big service contract that you're selling or some type of really large repair. And those customers are the ones that are going around shouting you from the rooftops and they're referring business to you. So that's the ultimate customer journey. So within those 5 steps, the price goes up as your value increases. And so we were talking earlier about the importance of value. I see Saul's comment. Yeah, but you guys don't see it, but I see it. Thank you, Saul.
There you go. The lady's done taking over.
So I just wanted to put the whole value ladder out there and then people can, we can talk about that and people can comment. But the point is, as your customers spending more money and investing in your business, you're treating them to the degree that they're investing in. You're giving them the value that they deserve. So you're going to go the extra mile. You're going to show up for them. Some people I know in the brainstorming sessions at ASTI, I've heard of VIP. It's not a book, Dan. It's so the value ladder is a concept that has been brought to the online sales industry. And that this is my adaptation of that concept for brick and mortar or face-to-face businesses. So it's my way of interpreting it and putting it out so that we can make use of it in our businesses. It's a Ginny original, but I can't take credit for the actual concept of the value ladder. But so how are your very highest ticket offers? Like what, you don't have to say how much they are, but what are they? What are your super high ticket things that you're offering to the people that know and love you already?
Go ahead, Miss Ward.
What I'm at, well, maintenance, as far as annual maintenance programs. A lot of my clients are always asking me to get into the warranty game because of the clientele I deal with. They may not be satisfied with the current warranty company they have, you know, but this is where that business acumen comes in. You know, a lot of industries, like in South Florida, there's a huge industry just on PM. There are companies that go around and they have made millions of dollars off of one thing, going into these retirement communities like Century Village, you know, where they buy these condos or these deed restricted areas where they have these small homes and selling these older people, you know, these extended, you know, these warranties to maintain, because that generation, you follow me? That specific generation has been coached and trained on cleaning, pulling the refrigerator out, cleaning the condenser when it used to be a static condenser on the back. And now they can't get to it because it's behind a cover or underneath. You know, you actually, I'm telling you, so those things. The other thing is I sell extended warranties to a lot of my clients. Like, for instance, if the manufacturer has a warranty for 1 year, I'm going to do a repair and I give them the option of buying, okay, this is normally warranty for 1 year, but we'll do it for 3 years. And then it's all about upselling, but you got to know your client and you got to be able to do those value added propositions with confidence. They got to know that when they call 2.5 years into the contract that you're showing up. And I've been blessed to, number one, get very few of those calls, but number two, be answering the phone when I do, and be more than happy to go in and service and honor the contract.
I like that, Saul. That's cute.
Customers don't pick Miss Ward. Miss Ward picks the customer. It's a privilege to have her come see you.
Facts.
So EJ commented a couple of comments back. We just started a service solutions program. It's going great. I'm curious what's included in your service solutions program.
He could pop in here.
Yeah, and then Jasper said he tries to give all his customers his highest level of service. I do feel like that is hugely important from the very first time you interact with your customer and you haven't even taken their money. So we answer questions for free all the time. It's on our website. People can call and ask a question. We answer it for free. So I agree, Gasper. But as you start charging them more money for different things, then the things that you're giving them in exchange for their money is increasing in value. So thank you for saying that. So EJ, hi.
Hey.
You going to share about your service solutions?
Yeah, I just since you asked, I wasn't going to be on. I was going to let y'all hijack. Shayna, great job leading it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I put Shayna on the spot. I said, I'm going to go live. And Shayna, you do the intro. And then when they came back out, I wasn't there. So, surprise.
But Mrs. Ward was there because she wasn't there before you left. So
we upgraded. So thanks to some coaching from Jason Shadowin, shout out to him. He presented the idea of a preventive maintenance plan that we can offer to our customers. And he kind of likes the idea of, instead of options, using the word solutions. So I called it Simple Service Solutions Program. Okay. And what we have is 4 levels. The base level is just a dryer vent cleaning at regular price, but on a recurring plan. So when we do a dryer vent cleaning, we do it on a service plan so that when they sign up in our House Call Pro software, it captures their card and it renews every year instead of hoping they call back next year. And they agree to that. The next level is deluxe, and I'm gonna have to pull it up here so I can tell it to you right. But it's refrigerator, washer, dryer, and dryer vent cleaning only. And we have tiered level pricing, and that level gets you a 5% discount on any repairs throughout, throughout while you're active. The premium is level 2. It's refrigerator, washer, dryer, dryer vent, and your oven. And that one comes with a 10% discount on any services. And then the optimum is all of the appliances and a 15% discount. I'll tell you, while we're talking about that, uh, everybody likes to know, how do you sell the service plan, right? And I'll say this, in the right situation, which you guys know you have to read people and understand the situation. And by doing that, you have to ask questions. So I like to ask at least 5 questions as soon as I get in, uh, before they walk away. I'm trying to get a feel for who they are, how they feel about their appliance, how they, feel about taking care of their house. And then when I get a repair that costs a little bit, I know that it may be on the line of, do I want to fix it or do I want to replace it? And then I offer that option. Hey, by the way, we have an optimum service plan, service solution that if you sign up now, we'll take care of all of your appliances, including a dryer vent cleaning, and you'll get 15% off this repair right now. And then there's monthly payment options for the service solutions also. So it's about adding different levels of value and different solutions for them, because it's not cookie cutter, one size fits all, as you guys were discussing earlier. You have to gauge who you're dealing with and find a solution that best fits their need, and that's how I do it. Now, I'm gonna get back out because y'all are doing great without me.
Well, thanks for sharing all that, EJ. It's really cool to know. So what he's talking about is strictly preventative maintenance for all of those appliances. Is that how you interpreted it, Miss Ward?
Yep.
And you're doing that also for your customers?
Yeah, select customers, okay? Because the temperament, like me, I'm anal. I do everything as far as strategy. I know the caliber client I want to deal with. I know the one that can call me 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm not gonna want to snap. Because Miss Ward be having them knee-jerk reactions. I'll be like, I've been cussed you out. Then I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. I thought you was somebody else. You feel me? So, I'm just keeping it real. So, and because I've designed my business, like I said, I have a boutique appliance repair business. So because I designed my business in such a way, and I have a blueprint and a plan that goes out 30, 40, 50 years, you follow me? I move a certain way. And it's just like I was looking at I can't wait until we get to the point we ask each other questions, because I got a question for Shauna and a question for Jenny.
Okay. Go for it. We're at that right now.
All right. Well, with Shauna, I wanted to ask you, because I think it's very interesting when you talk to people who grew up in the business to a certain extent. See, people don't understand the reality of a legacy business. They think it's all peaches and cream.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. Like, I follow Chick-fil-A, Dan Cathy, and I listen to them, and I've read the book with Truett Cathy, because I watched that legacy and how they developed that, because that's what I mean about how I can speak to any subject, because I stay well versed. And I listened to Dan Cathy on an interview talk about how they chose the succession and how the kids weren't forced into it. They looked at their talents, allowed them to go out and see the world. I mean, we see it with Justin Gandy, where he went away into the stockbroker realm and then came back into the industry. You follow me? At the end of the day, speak to the difference between being a legacy appliance exposure person and a person who comes in and who has no clue of the sacrifice you guys made. The fact that you got people in the parts houses used to have to look up on microfiche. Like, they don't understand the advantages that we
Yeah.
currently have with AI
Mhm.
technology. They sit here and whine. I'm about to stop because we're going to keep it PG. Because y'all know I don't play the radio. I rule with an iron fist and wear a velvet glove. It is what it is. But can you speak to where you came from, the advantages, the technology, and where you see people fall short and not taking advantages of everything, the smorgasbord of things we have here today to help us be successful?
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm generation owner, which we did shut our electrical business down this year, but just because we went out of Illinois and that's holding us here. But so it was my mom's dad. So it was my mom and my mom's dad. My mom's dad was the one that initially started in the 60s. And I remember even I was probably about 5 or 6 years old the first time I picked up my grandma's phone, and I, just hello with my sweet little 6-year-old voice, and they said, "Is Red there?" My That's not my grandpa's name. I didn't know that was his nickname. I'm like, "Nope, no Red here," and I hung up the phone. And my grandma's like, "That's your grandpa, dear." But, I remember those days, and I remember, the messages that were I remember, someone need electrical work done, and they might go down to the local hangout Polar Whip where he's sitting there with the guys drinking coffee, um and so my grandfather passed away in 93, and that's when my parents took over. And even as a 14-year-old girl, I remember getting those little pink slips that says while you were out. Oh, she left us. While you were out, and filling that out for him, for my dad, I had to answer Cole Electric, and I'd be filling out the pink slip and sticking it on my dad's desk for when he got home. With an electrical emergency came in. Do you know what we did? We drove around town until we found my dad. And he could have been at a house, and he could have been at the supply house because he spent a lot of time at supply houses. And we drove around until we found that. He was an Excel. My grandpa, of course, was pen and paper. When he passed away, my grandmother, there was thousands of dollars owed to them, but she had no clue who it was. But he was the type that he would also come home with tomatoes in exchange for work, and they had their own full garden too. So she'd get mad over that. My dad was an Excel person. Everybody had their own Excel file. He'd do work for you. He'd do work again. He'd go into your file and copy and paste and charge you $25 an hour for the work that needed to be done. And I think probably like a 10 or maybe 20% markup on material, and that was it. So, when we came on, we started QuickBooks is what we did for a long time. And then the last 6 years we had House Call Pro, and just the advances that you get, with the text messages and the on my ways and the scheduling, being able to actually customize the scheduling and flow around like and don't have, emergency call came in and we wouldn't have to drive around town and find my husband anymore or use a pager to find him when those went away. You just call up the cell phone. And yeah, these kids that are coming in now, they have no clue, what we went through even, 15 years ago, the differences in advance. And even so, there's still so many that are still now pen and paper, but like the amount of people even 15 years ago that was pen and paper was huge. Like really, truly very few were actually on some sort of non-pen and paper CRM, whether it was QuickBooks or whatever it is, they just weren't out there and available. So
Joe has said one time or in the past that he kind of misses the days of the CB radios because he could hear all the chatter of all the guys during the day. If they had a question or a problem or somebody was stuck on something, everybody got to learn at the same time. So when everybody got cell phones, that chatter went away. And that is something that he actually misses with all the advances in technology.
We did those in our vans at one point. So Mrs. Ward, how long have you been in the industry?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
See what I'm talking about?
There you go.
Yeah,
technology.
I've been in the industry since 2019, and I kind of was part-time because I was I've been in automotive and the trades, from welding to electrical for 30 years. Thank God black don't crack. Um, so I've only been in appliance repair since 2019. I started part-time in 2019. I had a full-time regional position, and I traveled then. I was I was handling Florida, Georgia, and the state of Washington for a company. And so I'm used to traveling. Like, this is second nature to me, you know. And at that time, I managed automotive shops, the service departments. So, whew, yeah. But I've been in since 2019 in appliance repair specifically. And yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I had a question for Jenny.
Okay.
All right. So the thing about having a full-time job and doing this stuff plus your own interest part-time. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm on my tablet, but my apprentice and my subcontractors are texting me, honey, like I didn't tell them yesterday. You know how it goes. We raising grown folks. That's why all y'all people with all them employees, more power to you. But anyway, Jenny, the question I did was, how do you ration your time? And still, like you kind of touched on it earlier about taking that time to invest in yourself so you can show up being your whole, complete, phenomenal self. How, first of all, do you ration the time between husband, family, your pursuits, and the business? Because me and my significant others really having, my partner's trying to jump in and do stuff, and it's, my partner is Harvard trained, graduated from the Seven Sisters and, got their PhD and stuff. So it's very interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. So anything you can tell me, it helps.
So we are just coming off of a super big imbalance of any personal time because we moved to our new hometown, and I've had my full-time job in this capacity for about 8 years. I manage the quality program for a hospital laboratory. So I do that during the daytime hours from about 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock ish. And then if I get pulled away for something for, half an hour or something, I will tack on that time because I feel like I need to make sure I'm showing up for that time. So I'm pretty protective of my work time that belongs to somebody else because they're paying me to be there for them. And so I try to honor that as perfectly as I can because I feel like we have to. When we're committed to somebody, we have to give them what, like we said, with value. What I've been doing lately for myself is making sure that I'm doing my exercising and my prayer time first thing in the morning. Because if it doesn't get done then, it doesn't happen. And I've built a ton of accountability into my life. So one of my accountability people is Shayna, and we get on the phone every Wednesday and we just check in and we set some goals. And usually they're personal. Sometimes they're business goals, but usually those are personal goals. So she's kind of my personal accountability. This year, in addition to having the appliance business that I predominantly work on in the weekends or in the evenings or before I start working for the hospital, we opened a co-working center. So we basically started 2 businesses in 2 years, and that's been a crazy endeavor. So over the past 6 to 8 months, we've been working about 16 hours a day trying to get this place open, and we opened at the end of September. So it has been exhausting because we were doing our full-time jobs during the day and then doing all this at night. And so I will tell you, not protecting my family time, like Andrew's saying right now, that took a toll on us. We started feeling grumpy and burnt out, and I probably gained about 7 or 10 pounds because I wasn't taking care of eating healthy and exercising and things like that. So I think I gave myself permission to go all in on something and let all of those things go to the wayside for a period of time. But I think it's really important to recover from that and redirect and get back into a good routine where you're taking care of yourself. So that's kind of my answer. There's no like work-life balance. You just work it all in. And if it's important to you, you do it. And so when I do make an appointment to be there for my kids or my husband or a friend, I honor that time. So if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. I'm not going to cancel because something better came up or something like that. So we do show up when we make a commitment, but during those crazy times, we're not making as many of those outside commitments. And now we're kind of getting back into the routine of being good friends and just giving each other time and things like that. So that's kind of my answer. So yes, there's times when it's ridiculous and there's terrible imbalance, but we're always working on ourselves to get back to having that balance in our life of just God and family coming first.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah. A lot of time blocking. Calendars, time blocking.
Time blocking and mind mapping, right?
Yeah. Calendars. I have a lot of apps that I use to manage my time as well. I use Todoist. I have a little video on my website, outcomeacademy.com. On the very bottom, if you click on that, you can see how I use Todoist to manage. And that app alone has replaced the need for a personal assistant because it keeps everything straight. And then we also use Monday in our team.
Monday.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things out there that can help you for sure. And we're doing a book right now, Shelby and I. This is the last thing on this tangent. It's called, what the heck is the book called? I just forgot it. Free to Focus.
There you go.
Yes, thank you, by Michael Hyatt.
I saw it last week in a store. That's how it reminded me. Like
I could picture it, but I couldn't. Yeah, thank you, Shayna. And we've been working through that, and that book is instrumental in doing some hacking and automation in your life and in your business to free up time for those important things in your life. So I highly recommend that book.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we do have to shut this down. People have to get back to work. I am very grateful, Miss Ward, that you decided to join us today and that EJ allowed you to take over his spot. And we should do it again. So some news. Let's see. If you need some assistance with building policies, procedures, and all the stuff, go check out Jenny's website, outcomeacademy.com, correct?
Sure. Yes.
Sure. Okay. Or send her an email.
In progress. Yeah. But yes, you can reach me there.
And you can also email her for a copy of those steps that she did today, value steps. If you need phone support, anything of the sort, just to run things past us, be happy to talk even. I love to talk. You're welcome to reach out to me. And then Miss Ward, you're on your YouTube famous, and it was the solid steps to wealth. There it is there. So make sure you look her up as well. There is a one-day business conference on December the 2nd, and you can register at servicealliancegroup.com. So don't forget to check that out and make sure you get signed up for that. There you go. And that's it.
Thank you.
So, peace out. AJ, you can hit the end button.